during the editing process, when is it do you guys start doing the special effects? Do you wait till everything is done, or is it like once you finish a certain scene that you start doing the special effects for that scene? When does that process start?
Well, basically, first to answer your question, so I don't forget, about 3 weeks after production begins, we start turning over shots. So they are going continuously over the course of the production, and they have to because it takes so long. Some shots have to go very early, especially like de-aging effects, things like that. Those take forever to do. So we turned over, old Cap really early because he was a digital aging effect. So basically what happens is, and tell me if I'm doing the right what you're suggesting, but so a movie there's a screenplay written and there's conceptual art that's done, and that process takes can anywhere from 2 years to a year. And then production commences, and usually is about 4 to 5 months. And during pre-production, you're writing a script and coming up with concept art. Set designers are building sets and preparing to build sets. And then the editor usually comes on during shooting, although sometimes they come on in pre a little bit. But for the most part, I start on day one of principal photography, and that's when the movie starts to be photographed. And like I said, they shoot on Monday, they do dailies on Tuesday, I edit on Wednesday, the directors see it on Thursday, and we just keep doing that the whole shoot until we have a movie put together, and then we screen it. So during production, as I'm cutting those scenes together, I'm prioritizing heavy lifting visual effects work on a Marvel movie. So de-aging effects, full CG characters, anything we can start working on that we know we're going to need for the trailer, which is going to come at us a lot earlier than the movie, or if we need something for narrative effect, like design work, like designing how Thanos would work, took us a long time, and we had to start on him early because we wanted him to be perfect. So we had to come up with a model and a rig for that character. So mocap movies, different animal. You've got to start rigging a lot earlier, visual effects wise. But the process of cutting and shooting kind of just goes on concurrently with the visual effects work. And that's interactive. So as you learn stuff from the visual effects you shoot, you make adjustments with what you're shooting. And then once the movie is photographed, we put it all together, and we spend about 8 to 10 weeks with the director and the producers getting the cut in just as best shape we can. We get as many visual effects. Some of them will be ready, and we'll put them in. Occasionally, we'll have to use temporary effects, and sometimes they'll be very temporary. We'll put that together. We'll call about 150 people in over to Disney, and we'll show the movie to them and ask them what they think. And they'll give it a score and a rating. And we'll listen to what they say. We'll debate about it ourselves. We'll have a lot of ideas after that screening. We go back, recut. We will do that 6 or 8 times. We'll screen it, cut, screen it, recut, screen it, recut. And then somewhere in that process, we schedule a reshoot, usually about January. So on a normal Marvel movie that releases in May, we'd start shooting in April. We'd shoot until August, come back to LA, cut and preview through December. Right after Christmas, we have a reshoot in January. We'd go back out for 4 or 5 days, pick up anything else we need that we came up with ideas, cut that in, and then basically February, March, and a little bit of April are sound mixing and color timing and getting the visual effects finished. Now, visual effects reviews take place a couple of times a week during the entire movie. So twice a week we go sit down and watch what ILM delivered, what each vendor delivered, make comments on those shots, send those notes to the vendors, and they turn them around again. And as I get a shot, it goes in the timeline, I pull it down, move it into the sequence, sometimes recut it. That process of getting the visual effects shots back, that's just like dailies. It's like another set of dailies that doesn't end until the very last minute. In fact, about 2 weeks before we released Endgame, we were cutting in Iron Man's snapshot. That was the last shot delivered on that movie. And we came up with it at the last minute, so it was the last shot we photographed, which meant it was the last shot to go in. But I remember it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we got the shot back from Weta with all the, the stuff going through his suit and all that. And it was like, oh my God, that's it. And we're like, we're out of time anyway, so that's the shot, everybody, it's final. And then we sent it out. So it's nuts. It's a really intense process of constantly revising.